Great Monday to you, Trailblazer. My name is Tabitha Christopher, tabithachristopher.com. If it's your first time catching any one of my live broadcasts, I'm so glad that you're here. And if you are a regular trailblazing friend, I am so glad that you came back. I'm going to put my glasses on to make sure that I can see you when you come into the room and I can say hello. I don't know your name. I've seen you. You were here last week, user 893. I would love to know your name so I can respectfully address you. So, Trailblazer, again, you're tuning into our weekly. Hello, Aaliyah. Our weekly Mind Style Makeover Mondays chat that happens every single Monday, for the most part. For the most part, every single Monday we have been here, and if we miss a Monday, we will come back on a day of that week. Okay, but so far we've been doing it every single Monday. No, JP, I know who you are. Hi. No way. This is so awesome. So I'm live on LinkedIn, I'm live on YouTube, and I'm also live over here on Instagram. And oh my goodness, a longtime trailblazing friend from way back in the day on Periscope is here joining us live on Instagram. I'm so glad that you're here, JP. This is too awesome. So, Trailblazer, I started this chat in my Instagram stories earlier today, and it was rolling off of a conversation I had earlier in the day with a dear friend of mine. And it's talking about owning your story and how it doesn't have to be as hard as what we may make it out to be. In fact, there's only one thing. There's one thing that's standing between you from owning your story. There's only one thing standing between me from owning my story. And we're going to get into that just a little bit and then also provide you a way in which you can connect with me on an even more deeper level for the upcoming training that we have. My company is hosting next month and in October, which is the Own Your Story, Prioritize Your Well-Being workshop. And it is truly transformative. This is a training that you will learn how to boost your energy levels by over 300%. You will learn how to improve your mood and quality of sleep, which all of that combined will help to enhance your overall well-being. And who doesn't want that? We all want to experience that, right? Yeah. So tonight, I would say it's more of just a chat of encouragement because many of you are already doing everything right already. And I think well, for me, I gather with you every single week because I know that there's things in which I can improve on. There's things of which, hey, Harold, there's things of which I we just continuously just want to grow. And so that's what these conversations are here for us to have that opportunity to grow together, to build each other up in love and good works. All right. So, Trailblazer, owning your story doesn't have to be a hard thing. Just to give you a quick background, when I decided to start owning my story, I didn't come to this conclusion because I wanted to. I started doing this because of a statement that was said to me that jolted me off of that self-centered throne that I was sitting on for decades of my life when I made the vow at 8 years old that I would die before I shared any of my story. And that has to do for the reasons of which I think many of you can relate to. It's culturally, it's considered taboo to share your family's secrets. It would be looked at as frowned upon to air out, quote, dirty laundry. That's dishonoring to your parents. That's dishonoring to your family tribe. And I didn't want to be a part of that. So I just vowed I would never share until fast forward many years later at a training session working with this high profile client. And she said to me, after I shared a little bit of what I was able to survive, overcome, and, get out of, She said, "I'm glad you were able to survive and make it out alive, but what about the many others that's in the same situation you were once in who will die or be killed because you refuse to tell your story?" At that moment, it became zero about me and about the fears that I had of being rejected, possibly rejected and shunned by my family. It then became about others that were in a situation that may feel hopeless. And that put me on the journey to learning how to stop faking it and owning my story. Now, as I started the journey, it was extremely messy. I didn't know how to start it. So I decided to face the pivotal incident that happened in my childhood that I had run from wanting to relive ever again. And I just went straight for that one and started writing that one out. And I did it in my own way. Instead of me putting my name into the story and my family members' names into the story, I created fictional names. And I was provided with the opportunity to go to an open house, not open house, an open mic to share my story. Literally, I was invited to share my story. And so I went and I shared that story, and I was asked by multiple audience members, "Oh my gosh, did that happen to you?" And I lied and I told them, "No, it didn't happen to me. This is not my story. I just made it up because I wasn't ready." Hello, Felicia. Hello. So good, Felicia. Good friend of mine from high school. She just joined me on LinkedIn over here. So I I wasn't ready to own my story to that degree, but I continued to write it. After facing that very hard one, I started to write others and other stories that were difficult for me to face. Started to write those, and I put fictional names in them, and then I would go the next week and I would share part of that story or as much as I could physically bear to get through. And after a year of doing that and lying to everybody, saying it was no, it's not my story, I made it up. After 1 year, I was able to own it and tell everyone. At that point, the audience had grown from a small 8-person audience to, oh my gosh, it was almost close to 100 people squeezing themselves into that small little theater at Toluca Lake, California. And I shared with them, all these stories that I've been sharing with you over the past year. And I kept telling you it wasn't mine. I'm not ready to own it. They're all my stories. And I think the most endearing part of that experience was that every person that was in that audience that had come because a friend told them, "You've got to come hear these stories. It's just 7 minutes, but they're powerful. There's so many life lessons in them." I didn't even see that. I was so still filled with so much hurt, so much angst, so much anxiety, so much grief, so much anger, rage. I couldn't see all of the multitude of blessings that was layered, lessons upon lessons, life giving lessons layered into these stories. I couldn't see it at that time until this one moment. Well, there's many different moments, but I would say this one pivotal moment where at the very beginning, before I could own my story, it was my first night sharing that very tough story to share. An older gentleman that was in his mid 50s, mid to late 50s, he stopped me from escaping that theater and never returning. I got to a certain point in the story of where I was sharing, I got overwhelmed, and I before I passed out on that stage, I said it's best for me to escape now. And I ran off the stage and was headed out, bolted out the back doors, was headed out to the street. And then this older gentleman comes and intercepts. And he says, "Hey, hey, hey, where you going? Where you going?" And I said, "This was a mistake. I should have never opened my mouth. I'm leaving." And he said, "Wait." And then I looked at him again and I saw tears streaming down his face. "Hey, Gracie." And that caused me, again, it arrested my attention and I stopped focusing on myself and what I was feeling in that moment to then focus on him. And I asked, "Oh no, are you okay? Everything okay?" And he then said to me, "The last time I cried was when I was 8 years old." And I believe he was like 55 or 58, one of those numbers. He said this is the first time that he's cried since he was 8 years old. And then he said, "I didn't know that someone else knew my story." Trailblazer, in life, each of us are going to face tough things. And sometimes these tough things come in unexpected ways, ways in which we're like, "Oh my gosh, why is this happening to me? I wasn't ready for this." One of the things that I've learned along this journey is that it's so much tougher to go through life alone and not link in arm in arm with someone to help to walk you through whatever it is you're going through. When I came to the crossroads of choosing to stop faking it and own my story and learn how to do that, I couldn't do it on my own. I I can tell you right now, the support of those many people that showed up every week to hear these 7-minute stories, to those that shared their takeaway from hearing it, um, and then provided a perspective that they took that I didn't see because I was too close to that situation. One thing that I've learned along this journey, and I started to share these stories over 10 years ago. 2013 was when I started to share these stories, and I have those stories that I shared back when I released in my book, Secrets, the Book of Destiny, and I'm trying to find. Before this, I released my audiobook, The Love Circle Secrets in Paradise, and that's no longer in circulation. I have the hard copy of it with me. I have several hard copies of that with me. And then I was asked by audience members, "Hey, can you write a book?" And I did. So I'm doing a book series. Volume 1 is out right now on Amazon.com. Secrets, the Book of Destiny. And that starts sharing stories from my childhood that is packed with those life-giving lessons that I know will help you to breathe if you're going through something that's heavy, or you've been through something and it's been hard for you to face it. And I understand where it's hard to face it alone. It is. But with the right support, you can thrive through the process. I can speak to that as it happened for me. And then I was that support for well over 300 of my clients and students that I was helping them to stop faking it and own their story. And at that time, I wasn't applying the same principles that I was teaching them. I wasn't applying it to myself. But then when I did, things changed drastically in my health, in my physical health, and my overall well-being. Things took place within my physical body that I did not think would ever change. You're looking at someone that, man, fainting spells would happen at without notice. If I am still for more than 20 minutes, I could drop. It could be behind a wheel. which was very dangerous. I mean, I was living that way for many years, and it just became my norm. I just settled in my mind that this is just the way life is going to be for me, even though it wasn't always that way. It just progressively got worse because I refused to own my story. And in my upcoming training, Own Your Story, Prioritize Your Well-Being, the one that I'm doing here in Pensacola on September 12th, September 13th, and October 11th. It's the same exact training, but it is it's power packed. It's going to walk you through the steps that I took clients through that transformed their health and well-being for the better. There are things of which I'm letting you know right now, Trailblazer, that we tend to negate and we ignore because we don't realize how much the quality of our thoughts, our mind style directly impacts our lifestyle habits, choices, and then habits. And this training, I'm so looking forward to doing it because I'll be providing fellow leaders like yourself with the tools to go through this process together. Okay? You're not going to go through it alone. And so, if you're in the Pensacola area or if you're nearby and if you know of someone that could come in for this to go through this training with you, invite them to come. And if you're like, nah, I don't know anyone that I would want to go through this with me. I want it to be a private thing for me. I don't want anyone that I know personally to be there. That's fine too. But I promise you, you're not gonna go through it alone. And you're gonna see how easy it is to own your story when you're in the space and the place with the right tools, the right support there with you to hand hold you through that process. It's going to be so good. So that one thing I know you're probably waiting on, what's that one thing that holds anyone back from owning their story? That one thing will be revealed at the training. Yeah, I'm not going to reveal it here, but it's one thing. It's one thing for each person that stops them from owning their story. And once they get a hold of understanding what this one thing is, they are golden. They are golden. Oh man, it's powerful. It's powerful. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go ahead and put the link to where you can register, secure your free spot for this upcoming training. I'm gonna put it into the comments below. Picking up the phone. So sorry if it starts to shake. All right. I'm gonna put the link right here into the comments on Instagram as well. There we go. Okay. And so if you're on Instagram watching this, the link is also within the bio area on Instagram. So if you go there and you click that link, it's going to take you to the link tree and you just tap the button that's labeled Learn How to Boost Your Energy Levels by Over 300%. Click that, and then it will take you over to the registration page where you will secure your free spot. Oh, I didn't mention it's a free training. And I was talking to an old family friend today, and he was like, free? This can't be free. I was like, well, it's okay. I mean, because it's this training, I know it's absolutely effective. And I'm not going to say any more about it. When you come, you're going to experience it. And then there'll be opportunities there for you if you want additional support. Beyond that training, there will be some paid support options available for those of you that's ready to take it to the next level and power up every area that you have been finding yourself stuck in. Okay. And that main area that I'm skilled in helping with is one's health and fitness. And the mind style training is definitely paramount to helping to facilitate this owning of your story. Anywho, I'm not going to talk anymore. I'm thrilled and excited for each of you that's on here tonight. I'm also thrilled and excited for those of you that's going to get to experience this transformative training that's taking place in September and October. The same exact training, just pick one date to come to. You can only go through it once, only one time, for free. And yeah, and we receive the information that you need to help you and implement and own it. And I look forward to witnessing the incredible transformations that each leader experiences at this upcoming workshop. It's going to be good. All right, Trailblazer, I'm going to go ahead and hop off, not pop off, hop off of here for right now. And I look forward to connecting with you guys later on this week. God bless. Bye.